America, the land of opportunity. We've all heard that phrase. But what happens when the opportunities dry up? What happens when the gap between the rich and the poor becomes a chasm? We're seeing it now. More and more Americans are falling into poverty. This isn't about laziness, it's about a system that's rigged against them. Wages are stagnant, the cost of living keeps going up, and the safety net that's supposed to catch people when they fall is full of holes. We need to ask ourselves some tough questions. Why are so many Americans struggling? What can we do to create a more just and equitable society? The answers matter. The future of our country depends on them. Let's talk numbers. In America, millions of people live below the poverty line. That means they struggle to afford basic necessities like food, housing, and healthcare, and the numbers are going in the wrong direction. Poverty rates have been increasing. More families are struggling to make ends meet. This isn't just a problem for the poor, it's a problem for all of us. When so many people are struggling, it weakens our economy and our communities. We can't ignore these statistics. They paint a bleak picture of the reality for many Americans. It's time to face the facts and start working towards solutions. Here's a fun fact that's not actually fun. The gap between the rich and the poor in America is wider than ever. The wealthiest Americans are seeing their fortunes grow, while everyone else is struggling to keep up. Wages have stagnated for decades. That means people are working harder and longer, but their paychecks aren't keeping up with the rising cost of living. Meanwhile, the costs of healthcare, education, and housing continue to skyrocket. Something's got to give. This level of economic inequality is unsustainable. It creates a society where the American dream feels increasingly out of reach for too many. We need to find ways to create an economy that works for everyone, not just those at the very top. Social safety net programs like food stamps and unemployment benefits are supposed to be a lifeline for people in need. But these programs are underfunded and overstretched. They're struggling to keep up with the growing demand. Cuts to these vital programs have real consequences. People are going hungry, families are losing their homes, and the cycle of poverty continues. We need to invest in these programs and strengthen them, not dismantle them. These programs are not handouts. They are a crucial part of a just and compassionate society. We need to do better by our most vulnerable citizens. Section 5. Trapped in a cycle, systemic barriers perpetuating poverty. Poverty is a complex issue that goes beyond the mere absence of financial resources. It is a multifaceted problem that is deeply rooted in systemic barriers that prevent individuals and communities from breaking free from its grasp. Poverty isn't just about a lack of money. It's about the daily struggles and the constant stress that comes with trying to make ends meet. It's about the emotional and psychological toll it takes on individuals and families. It's about facing systemic barriers that make it harder to get ahead. These barriers are often invisible but have a profound impact on people's lives. They include bureaucratic hurdles that make accessing assistance difficult and time-consuming. Things like discriminatory housing policies, which have historically marginalized certain communities and continue to do so today. Redlining and other forms of housing discrimination have long-lasting effects that are still felt in many neighborhoods. Unequal access to quality education is another significant barrier. Students in low-income areas often attend underfunded schools with fewer resources, which limits their opportunities for academic and personal growth. And a lack of job opportunities in disadvantaged communities further exacerbates the problem. When industries leave and jobs disappear, communities are left struggling to find new sources of employment. These barriers create a cycle of poverty that can be difficult to escape. The frustration and hopelessness that come with being trapped in this cycle can be overwhelming. We need to address these systemic issues head-on if we want to create a more equitable society. This means acknowledging the root causes of poverty and working together to find solutions. It's not enough to just talk about helping people out of poverty. We need to take concrete actions to support those in need and to create lasting change. We need to dismantle the systems that keep them trapped there. This involves policy changes, community engagement, and a commitment to social justice. Breaking down these barriers requires a multi-pronged approach. It involves collaboration between government, nonprofits, and the private sector. We need to invest in affordable housing, ensuring that everyone has a safe and stable place to live. This is a fundamental step in breaking the cycle of poverty. Improve our public education system so that every child has access to quality education and the opportunity to succeed. Education is a powerful tool for lifting people out of poverty and create pathways to good-paying jobs for everyone. This includes job training programs and support for small businesses, which are vital for economic growth and community development. Section 6. When illness means ruin, healthcare costs, and the impoverishment of families. In America, getting sick can be financially devastating. Healthcare costs are astronomical, and even people with health insurance can face crippling medical debt. For those living in poverty, a single illness or accident can push them over the edge. The system is broken. We need to find a way to provide affordable, quality healthcare to all Americans. No one should have to choose between their health and their financial security. Healthcare should be a right, not a privilege. It's time for comprehensive healthcare reform that prioritizes the well-being of all Americans. Section 7. Working hard, staying poor, the challenges faced by low-wage workers. In today's society, the narrative that hard work alone can lead to success is deeply ingrained. However, for many low-wage workers, this is far from reality. The idea that if you just work hard you can achieve anything in America is a myth. Despite putting in long hours and often working multiple jobs, millions of Americans find themselves struggling to make ends meet. Millions of Americans work full-time jobs but still can't afford basic necessities. They live paycheck to paycheck, constantly worrying about how to pay rent, buy groceries, or cover medical expenses. This is the harsh reality for many families, including single parents who juggle multiple responsibilities. They are the working poor, and their struggles are often invisible. These individuals are the backbone of our economy, yet their contributions go largely unrecognized. They commute long distances, often relying on public transportation, and have little time for rest or leisure. Nonprofit workers, for example, often work incredibly hard for very little pay. They dedicate their lives to helping others, yet they themselves are often in need of assistance. Their passion and commitment to their work are commendable, but it is not enough to sustain a decent living. They're passionate about their work, but they deserve a living wage too. Teachers, nurses, and social workers play crucial roles in our communities, providing essential services and support. Despite their dedication, they are frequently underpaid and overworked. We need to value all work, not just the work that generates big profits. Janitors, farm workers, and cashiers are just as important as corporate executives. Every job has dignity, and every worker deserves respect and fair compensation. It's time to raise the minimum wage, provide paid sick leave, and ensure that all workers have access to affordable childcare. These measures are not just about fairness, they are about creating a more just and equitable society. When workers are paid fairly, they can contribute more effectively to the economy and their communities. These are not radical ideas. They are common-sense solutions that benefit everyone. Ensuring that all workers have the support they need to thrive is essential for the well-being of our society as a whole. They are basic rights that all workers deserve. When workers are treated with dignity and respect, it leads to stronger families, healthier communities, and a more prosperous nation. It's time to recognize the value of all work and ensure that everyone has the opportunity to succeed. Section 8. A brighter future is possible. Solutions for a more equitable America. The good news is that we can solve this problem. We can create a more just and equitable America where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. It starts with acknowledging the problem and then taking action. We need to invest in education, healthcare, and affordable housing. We need to create jobs that pay a living wage and provide opportunities for advancement. And we need to reform our tax system to ensure that everyone pays their fair share. This won't be easy. It will require a sustained effort from all of us. But I believe that together, we can create a better future for all Americans. Section 9. A call to action, building a nation where everyone has a chance to thrive. The fight against poverty is a fight for the soul of our nation. It is a battle that touches every corner of our society, affecting millions of lives. Poverty is not just a lack of financial resources, it is a barrier to education, healthcare, and the basic dignity that every human being deserves. It's a fight for justice, equality, and opportunity. It's about ensuring that every person, regardless of their background, has the chance to succeed. It's about breaking down the systemic barriers that have held so many back for so long. It's about creating a society where everyone can contribute and everyone can benefit, and it's a fight that we can win. We have the power to make a difference, to change the course of our nation's future. By coming together, we can create a movement that is unstoppable. We can celebrate our victories, no matter how small, and use them as fuel to keep pushing forward. We need to demand better from our elected officials. We need to be vocal and persistent in our calls for change. We need to show up at town hall meetings, sign petitions, and make our voices heard. Our leaders must know that we will not settle for anything less than true justice and equality. We need to hold them accountable for creating policies that benefit everyone, not just the wealthy and powerful. It's time for policies that lift up the marginalized and provide opportunities for those who have been left behind. We must ensure that our government works for all of us, not just a select few. And we need to come together as a nation to build a more just and equitable society for all. This means working together on community projects, supporting local initiatives, and fostering a spirit of collaboration and mutual aid. When we unite, we can achieve incredible things. The time for action is now. We cannot afford to wait any longer. The urgency of this moment calls for immediate and decisive action. Every day that we delay is another day that someone suffers needlessly. We must act with the urgency that this crisis demands. Let's create a nation where everyone has a chance to thrive, not just survive. Let's build communities where children can play safely, where families can enjoy parks and public spaces, and where everyone has access to the resources they need to live fulfilling lives. Let's build a future where poverty is not a destiny, but a distant memory. Thank you. Together, we can make this vision a reality. Let's commit to this cause with all our hearts and minds, and let's work tirelessly until we achieve the just and equitable society that we all deserve.